Greetings gamers, my name is Anto and I just got done watching the most recent D&D marketing hype promo video for the DMG, the one that was talking about treasure and magic items. And this is the video that I have most eagerly been awaiting about the DMG, because I've been waiting to see whether they're actually going to talk about magic item pricing. They barely talked about magic item pricing, but at the start of that video, Chris Perkins said this.
At the beginning of the chapter, we talk about treasure themes, which we can get into, and then we spell out the different kinds of treasure, from coins to trade goods to trade bars, which is new to this book.
Did you catch it? Did you catch the problem? So he's saying there that the concept of trade goods and trade bars is new to the 2024 version of the DMG. As soon as he said this, I was like, that is wrong. Like, in my head, I was like, I know that this isn't the first time this has been in D&D. I know for certain that 3.5 had trade bars because I can remember the page. And I went and I did a quick Google search and I was like, cool, yep, there's the 3.5 trade bars. So I know that this is not new to D&D, so surely it's just new to 5th edition. But something kept kind of niggling at the back of my mind, and I was like, I am sure that I have seen trade bars in 5e. So I dug out my copy of the 2014 DMG. I flipped to page 20, and right there on the page is a section about trade bars, talking about silver bars, about the different weights, about gold bars, and it's not new to D&D 5e at all. And this is something that keeps coming up in these videos and in the marketing and in the promo for revised 5th edition, and I've reached my point of tolerance with it now. They keep being so disingenuous in the way that they say
X is new to this version of the book.
At best, it's something that existed in previous editions of the game, and it's the first time it's appearing in 5th edition. That is rare. At worst, it is just a reprint of what was in 2014. In my review of the Revised Player's Handbook, I talked about how in the promotional videos, Jeremy Crawford made a big deal about how they were going to include guidance for starting at higher levels and what your goal would be starting at higher levels, when in actual fact, they just reprinted the table that existed in the 2014 DMG, but stripped out some of the information from it. So there's less information than we had in 2014. And this kind of disingenuous framing of, oh,
look at this shiny new thing.
Ignore the fact that it's existed for a decade, at least in 5th edition, or the fact that it's existed in multiple other editions of D&D.
is really starting to piss me off. And I know that I've made several videos now where it's like angry British man rants at cloud, but I like a lot of what they're doing with revised 5th edition. They don't need to be disingenuous with the way that they're presenting this information. Like, nobody gives a shit about trade bars. Like, I appreciate that this will have been just such an offhand comment from Chris Perkins, but he was one of the project leads in 2014. He has to have known what was in that book. Like, I don't understand how, of all of the things in that video, that he chooses to say this is new to the book, he settles on something that was categorically in 2014's version. Like, I just don't get it when you have so many things that the players are desperately calling out for, like with the example of discrete magic item pricing for all the magic items. Like, give us individual pricing. We've been asking for it for a decade. We're almost certainly not going to get that, because every time it's come up in conversation in these videos and they've talked about magic item pricing, they're like,
Oh yeah, there's magic item pricing in the book. There was in 2014 as well, you know.
it's like, what you gave us in 2014 was a sack of horse shit just dressed up with a little bit of lipstick. But instead of giving us what we want, they go, oh yeah,
Here's something that you already have, but it's new.
it's not even new. There is no real point to this video other than old man yells at cloud. I'm just real sick of seeing such disingenuous comments from them, and I'm sick of ranting about it in my various spaces online. So I thought I'd record all my thoughts into one video, and then every time someone asks me about it, I can just be like, here is the video. And then I can just be like, hey wizards, here is the video. Stop being so underhanded with the way that you're promoting this book. Like, there will be new exciting things in these books. talk about them instead of saying, oh, this is the first time that we've ever done this thing, when it's categorically not. Like Jeremy Crawford, Chris Perkins, James Wyatt, all of these people have been around in Wizards of the Coast for multiple editions. They've been around in D&D as a whole for even longer. They know that what they're saying isn't true. So either someone on the other side of the camera is like, you have to say these things, in which case, why the hell is, like, presumably a money person being like, oh yeah, the people want to know about trade bars, or they feel like there isn't enough new stuff in the book and they are feeling pressured to highlight shiny new things that don't exist. Both options suck. And all of this is an incredible shame, because if the DMG is anything like the Player's Handbook, it will be a greatly improved reference resource. It will be much more easy to navigate. Yeah, there might not be a lot of new material in there, but in terms of navigation and usability, I don't need a lot of new stuff if you're going to make that book significantly easier to read, parse, and understand. As we've seen through videos from folks like Ginny D and a whole bunch of other YouTubers in the last couple of weeks, most folks haven't read the DMG. I feel like I'm in the vast minority of people who've read the damn book, so knew straight away that trade bars existed in that. Like, what fundamental piece of knowledge have I not been able to retain because a small part of my brain is holding on to the fact that trade bars exist in the 2014 DMG? That's an existential crisis for some other time, but I get it. Like, a lot of people have not read this book, so even if you don't add a lot of new content to it, it will be worthwhile to new people going forward to just rearrange the content, like treat it like a new printing. Like, you don't have to say that things are appearing in the book for the very first time when that is just not the case. You don't have to say that there is new versions of X when either they have existed in previous editions or you are just reprinting them from another 5th edition source. Like, it's so disingenuous, and it's leaving a real bad taste in my mouth for what is otherwise really solid, like, restructuring work that has been going on for these revised books. And I'm just really pissed off, and I just wanted to rant. So that is my rant. Real quick aside, just to say, if you're watching this in like the first 36 hours that it's published, SideQuest Year 3 is still live on Kickstarter. It ends on Thursday at like 2 p.m. So this is your last chance to get a copy of the beautiful hardback book in the first print run. I'll leave a link in the description below for that. You get a whole year's worth of 5th edition content packed with stuff for players and GMs. I'd love to know what you're looking forward to the most in the revised DMG down in the comments below. And if you want to keep watching, check out this video where I fix magic item pricing. And until next time, happy gaming.